Hello, it's Aimee, and today will be a video that I've been meaning to do for a very long time. This bullet journal is from Archer and Olive, and I planned on using it for my recipe book. It's where I wanted to put in all of my favorite recipes that I found over the years. I have already started on some of it. I recorded some parts of my cookie spread, starting with outlining a lot of my sketches, sketching out an area for the ingredient list, and lining the doodles that correlate for each step. I made this video back in May of 2023 and didn't really touch it again till 5 months later due to focusing more on my bullet journal setups and catching up on my spreads. In the second video, I wanted to showcase how long it actually takes for me to do calligraphy compared to what my videos typically show. When I first got into lettering, I always thought that people are just that quick to do it, when in reality, that's not the case. I think it's really important to recognize that the videos typically shown for lettering and calligraphy are not always as it seems. What is shown in the video now is what was done from those past two shorts, and on the other side of the page, I have a sketch done for their next recipe I wanted to save. However, in this video, I will only be focusing on the cookie side and finally finish the spread. To start off, I used my go-to Tombow brush pens to color in the ingredient section and the mini doodles, using lighter colors as a base since I plan on using colored pencils for shading and the details. What really inspired me to do this little side project was because I got really tired of bookmarking everything and rewatching videos to find the recipe that I need to make my meals, so this was the best way for me to keep them all in one place. This recipe is from Rosanna Pansino. I found her video while looking for a good recipe for chocolate chip cookies, and ever since then, my husband has been asking me to make them non-stop. I love sharing this recipe with my friends and to anyone who asks about it because they really are delicious. I will make sure to link her recipe video in the description box if anyone would like to share the love and try it out for yourself. Out of respect to Rosanna, and honestly any of the recipes that I will be making spreads for, I will only write down the ingredient list. I won't be writing out the specific instructions for the recipes, so a big portion of the spread will either be blurred out or omitted. I really just wanted to give some layout ideas for people who would love to make their own collection book of recipes. Instead of my usual line drawings, like down below, I attempted to go for a more realistic approach to the thumbnail drawing. I colored in the sketch by laying down light colors first, and quickly realized that I couldn't see my sketch very well anymore. I kind of regretted my decision for not lining my work because of it, but just carried on and added some chocolate chips to the cookies, kind of guessing where I sketched them out. I went in with my colored pencils to add the shading and more details to the cookies. I had a really hard time picking out the colors I needed to make the cookies look somewhat good. The first color I picked gave the cookies a nice golden brown look to them, and I added some uneven shading near the chocolate chip cookies. I was happy with how it was turning out during this stage, but I felt like there was still something missing in the shading. While I pondered on what was missing, I added some depth to the chocolate chip cookies, using a darker brown to shade in the shadows and keeping it still uneven and jagged. When I brought in a different shade of brown, that's when I felt less confident on the shading. It was really hard to balance keeping the color of the cookie a golden brown color while adding some depth to it. The more I colored it using this darker brown, the more the cookie looked like it was on the burnt side, and I couldn't figure out how to come back from it. I was a bit stressed at this point, so I tried to use different shades of brown and create more wrinkles and just hoped that it would come out okay. I later added some light highlights on the chocolate chips as well. I thought about using a white gel pen for it, but then it would have looked really unrealistic. Then you can see I just keep adding more and more color and shading to give the cookies more texture. I really was just winging it at this point and hoping that it gets better with the more I add. I had to walk away after coloring the cookies in, hoping to get a different perspective when I came back to the drawing. It didn't look as bad as I thought, so I continued on by lightly coloring in the background, adding some shading along the cookies to help it stand out more. Finally, after almost 2 years of starting this project, this spread is done. It may not be the best drawing, but I'm really happy with how this turned out in the end. I know it will look better once the spread is filled with instructions, but I hope this gives you some inspiration if you'd like to recreate it yourself. I've never been the best at drawing food, so making these spreads will definitely be a challenge, but a fun one. If you like the recipe that I use for the cookies I make, please make sure to check out Rosanna Pansino's video on it, which is linked in the description box. There is a lovely sneak preview sketch of the next spread, so I hope you please stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day, and bye for now.